There is a river in the Iberian Peninsula that has forever marked those who have reached its waters. It is the River Tagus. One of its sections forms a boundary line between Spain and Portugal, a deceptive division that evokes such power and influence that it has been able to bring two nations together, to embrace two cultures, and to fuse the wildlife on both sides. Here, the river knows no languages, but it understands them all. The International Tagus, the boundary that unites. The River Tagus and its tributaries, Erjas and Sever, that name this territory act as a native and political frontier along 60 kilometers between Spain and Portugal. However, wildlife here knows no political borders. In fact, the river that divides both countries does just the opposite. On both sides of the Tagus, very different environments can be found, in which populations and their particular cultures have settled, influenced by the great river. Vast Mediterranean forests lead to limitless steppes, dotted with lagoons and by a man-made landscape, the Dehesa. All of these expressions of life are somehow protected along the Great Waterway. Thus, it has been since prehistoric times. The Tagus was always a broad way of communication. In the Neolithic era, settlements on either side were already the same. We know this because their legacies followed identical patterns. These are dolmens, megalithic monuments that were built in both territories. Only the Dolmenico group of Valencia del Alcántara possessed 48 funerary monuments, constituting one of the most important in all of Europe. The signatures of those inhabitants can be found in the cave of Buraco in the Santiago de Alcántara. Successive historical eras that were closely linked followed each other one by one. Life in this territory is prolific as well. It has colonized diverse habitats found around the great river Tagus. In the Tagus International Park, the visitor can observe up to 300 bird species, 40 mammals, and about 30 amphibians and reptiles, and over 1,000 plant species. There is more biodiversity to be found here than in many European countries. For this reason, this place was declared an international park in 2006, the first one in Europe. This extraordinary biodiversity is its main value. Seasons have a powerful influence on animals, plants, and the landscape itself. During spring, on both banks of the river, the blooming fauna ignites our senses. On the steppes, where the influence of the river is less generous, the season seems to develop faster. Plants know this, and they struggle to put on their best appearance to attract the insects. They are running out of time. In pastures and hills, humidity is a little better conserved. On the riversides and in areas adjacent to rivers and tributaries, the greenery and colorfulness enjoy their privileged position. Among the rich vegetation, the yellow iris stands out. The only place in the world in which this plant can be seen is here. The splendor this land shows off during the springtime eclipses its reason for being. Everything is for the sake of survival and to ensure the continuation of the species. Insects are attracted and food is offered in order for pollen and seeds to be dispersed. During this season, birds also resort to strategies in order to reproduce. Singing is one of the most favored. The corn bunting and the black kite sing and show themselves. The crested lark also tries to attract the female. It doesn't matter if she can't see him. If his song is beautiful and powerful enough, he will get her. A few steps from there, a masked bird dressed like a little sun looks for female company. The gift of small candy is a valued resource. On the farmhouses found on the steppes, the females of the lesser kestrel demand succulent delicacies from the male. And the male gets his prize. Sometimes, being ostentatious and lavish is the best option to find a partner. This is the speciality of the great bustard, the heaviest flying bird in the world. Males attract females by showing their strong bodies and plumage in a unique and beautiful way, unseen in the animal kingdom. A male spots a female and starts his unique courtship. He swells with pride and vanity. But the female wants to check out other pretenders. She won't make it easy. A small relative of the great bustard has problems to be seen by the female. The grass is tall, and the little bustard must do a trick to become visible. The turtle-dove males combine all of these techniques, being as attractive as possible, singing well to the female, and giving her tender and juicy seeds. On the river Tagus, or in its multiple ponds, the mallard displays its courtship. On the steppes, on the river, and in the forest, something is about to happen to all the pairs of birds, something that will change their lives. This loving delirium does not go by unseen by other beings. Bird watchers have a saying, "A day without bird watching is a lost day." The only thing these naturalists lose here is track of time. The visitor craves these endless roads, these paths that hold unknown surprises, because nature is unpredictable. Along many of these lanes, many decades ago, Portuguese and Spaniards exchanged other types of emotions. Tour guides take tourists along trails in which smuggling took place right after the Spanish Civil War. The traffic of merchandise between both sides of the Tagus was a constant. Those secret pathways through which people faced a possible jail sentence or executions are now hiking routes. The wildlife, which didn't have to suffer the risk and scarcity of human populators went through, continues on its biological cycle. The time to nest is beginning, and locating food for younglings is the main priority. The Sardinian warbler takes food to the nest more than 50 times a day. The nest must always be clean, even if that means taking the droppings with the beak. The melodious warbler uses the same technique. On the roofs of the old farmhouses, the miracle of life takes place. The white stork is abundant on the Tagus International. It raises its chicks in the rural areas and the small villages on both sides of the river, the Spanish and the Portuguese. In the most secret corners of the Great Tagus, a jewel clings to the hope of perpetuating its species. It's the black stork that does its best to raise 3 chicks. Other creatures are farther ahead and receive their last nourishment before becoming independent. Excellent conservation management and a hilly terrain are allowing for the black stork to recover from the dangers of extinction. This mountainous area can best be appreciated in Nocturnal, the first Portuguese geological park in the European network. To see it and understand it in all its grandeur, excursions with guides are organized. This grand protected space boasts 170 places of geological interest that illustrate the main stages of geological history of the last 600 million years in the region.
E estas rochas aqui pelo ribeiro do Rec abaixo, se formos aí à procura, vamos encontrar vestígios de vida do passado, fossilizados, mas que, como eu vos falei ontem,
It's summertime. Despite the rise of temperatures, the river keeps its flow, and in the ponds and natural troughs, birds intensify their visits to ease their thirst. Reptiles need to drink as well, like this large Rhenechus scalaris. These corners are meeting points. Everybody knows they are dangerous places. Hunters and prey gather without meeting. Small invertebrates, fish and amphibians live here, and every predator wants to eat them. To carnivores, to eat means killing. They must take the prey by surprise without being discovered. The black stork chicks we saw in the nest weeks ago have become independent. They observe the hunting techniques of the cattle egret. They have a lot to learn yet. The grass snake seeks its prey by tracking every corner. However, the viperine water snake uses a different technique. She doesn't look for prey. She waits for them. Not only animals fish in the Tagus International. Tanker fishing is a tradition and a regulated activity to preserve the population of these fish. Summer sun seems to refuse to go, but eventually it always hides. This is the moment other protagonists were waiting for. Walkers with explorers' souls want to read the skies. Professional guides reveal the secrets of the celestial sphere to the travelers. The clean atmosphere found in the Tagus International allows the observation of the infinite. The Mediterranean climate is lenient and sometimes blesses the land. Ponds revive and thousands of voices fill them. With the onset of the rainy season, male natterjack toads claim their territories. Females attend this massive concert. But there are many pretenders. Males do not take no for an answer. Neither one of these two males will back down, and the female begins to drown. The female has died. But other couples culminate the mating in peace, and a new generation will be born soon. Summer nights are short, but life is frantic. Some birds are still raising their chicks. The red-necked nightjar is a nocturnal and insectivore bird. It feeds its chicks with insects it captures in flight. A few steps from there, a small armored knight waits hidden. He is deaf, but he can feel the vibrations another male generates while walking. And they face each other. The forces are balanced. Scorpions are immune to their own venom. But if one of them gets stung by a rival on a nervous ganglion, he will die in a few seconds. The weaker leaves the fight, but he will have to leave the place as well. The first light of a September day caresses strange creatures. The toad's wild mating season that took place during the summer storms has borne fruit. Some of them have already completed their metamorphosis. The forest gently announces the end of summer. Deer's mating season has just begun. Males bellow to intimidate rivals and attract females. Gradually, females attend to the arena, and the current king gathers them. But dashing rivals are close. Irritation and excitement increases. The lord of this place is thirsty for combat. He even fights against a tree. He is a veteran, battle-hardened. He has already lost an eye in combat, and he will fight to the death to retain his harem. A reckless candidate gets too close. Both are strong, but the candidate moves back for now. twilight coolness makes tension untenable. Too many antlers. Even the youngsters feel the tension. At midnight, an unknown outsider attacks the old king. There's a new king. With an arrogant walk, he looks for his prize. The dethroned male leaves the place, never to return. Other unmistakable sounds can be heard through the dehesa. Getting in contact with this rural culture and working in the fields revives forgotten feelings. Traditional livestock is a totally sustainable activity. It preserves the environment and has become a new resource for local wildlife. This is, among other reasons, because among cattle, some animals die. Animals that eat dead meat can be found in the Tagus International. They are incredibly voracious and can eat a whole sheep in an hour. The cinereous vulture, with its 3-meter wingspan, can travel huge distances to spot corpses. This is the time. This is a fight for life. anything goes. The Mediterranean forest is generous during the autumn. Holm oaks and cork oaks produce large amounts of acorn, a fruit very much appreciated by Iberian pigs, the animal that produces the product known as jamón. Wildlife also enjoys this delicacy. Acorns are wild boars' favorite food. Even ducks like this mallard feed on this fruit. Autumn's soft climate and the high availability of food attract migratory birds coming from the north and eastern Europe. Thousands and thousands of common wood pigeon attend to the Tagus International to spend autumn and winter. This is a blessing for one of the most precious jewels of the park. The Bonelli's eagle. Autumn in the Tagus International. Out-of-tune trumpeters from the north also attend in large numbers. They will set down on both banks of the river Tagus, feeding on acorns. More than 70% of the common crane found in Europe use Spain and Portugal as a wintering area. They form family flocks so we can find parents, brothers, and offspring coming together from Northern Europe that will stay together until they return at the end of winter to their breeding areas. Winter is coming, and new bird species coming from Northern Europe gather in the Tagus International. Great cormorants and grey herons satiate their hunger with the abundant fish. Each species uses its own technique. Other wintering water birds also take advantage of the generosity of the Tagus International. Thousands of small birds that join the ones resident in this territory. Accustomed to the cold, having a bath in winter is not a problem for them. The sparrow is abundant in the rural areas of the park. In this season, it prefers sand baths. Energy consumption is higher in winter. Animals must find food wherever they can. Here the cattle has a special relationship with wildlife. Not only scavenger birds feed on their corpses, their droppings attract lots of insects, which are, in turn, food for a lot of the bird species. While a common blackbird feeds on small insects, an alarm sound worries all the animals around. There is just one creature capable of creating such a commotion. The Spanish imperial eagle, a large bird of prey in danger of extinction only found in the Iberian Peninsula and nowhere else in the world. Immature individuals have a brown plumage. This couple will breed for the first time next spring. The situation of the Spanish imperial eagle in the 70s was critical. Just 60 pairs left in the world. Today, the species has recovered and its population is over 250 pairs. Several of them live here in the Tagus International. Here, they share the place with about 400 vertebrate species and more than 1,000 plant species. All of them live in this territory, blessed by the Great Tagus, a river over 1,000 kilometers long, whose length divides Spain and Portugal and constitutes the base of one of the most important natural areas in Europe. Residents on both banks of the river join the foreign visitors. Many of them have surnames of the neighboring country. Another example of the close historical relationship in this territory between Spain and Portugal. In the sky, superb creatures pass from one bank to the other. For them, as well as for the human inhabitants, the Tagus River is not a separation. It is a union. We have traveled through this transborder land, through such a varied place of such amazing value, which at the same time is home to a protected space with the privilege of being the first international natural park in Europe. This is Tagus International, the border that unites. Mientras que viva.